It's 6 in the morning, and a worker we'll call Klaus is walking into the Volkswagen plant in Zwickau, Germany. This complex has anchored the local economy for generations, churning out vehicles with the reliability of a force of nature. For decades, the European auto industry offered a promise of absolute economic security. Plants like Zwickau were the bedrock of industrial pride, providing a stable, middle-class life for millions of workers. But Klaus's routine has been shattered. Volkswagen has announced the immediate elimination of 15,000 jobs across Germany. That number is echoing through the workforce. Jobs once considered untouchable, protected by decades of union power and government backing, are suddenly vanishing. The industry's math is breaking down at a level that standard corporate restructurings cannot fix. Klaus is witnessing a quiet, methodical economic siege. Foreign competitors are systematically cutting the supply lines of Europe's most valuable industry. The current siege is driven by a rapid and massive global transition from traditional combustion engines to electric vehicles. This chart shows the global vehicle market in 2019. At that time, internal combustion vehicles held a massive 91% share. 6 years later, in 2025, that share had dropped to 52%. The tipping point took barely half a decade. Europe was caught off guard. Regulators mandated strict deadlines to phase out gasoline cars, but they did not build the domestic industrial capacity, the factories and raw materials needed to meet those targets. While Europe focused on regulation, the US and China aggressively funded their own supply chains for batteries and software. Forced to maintain access to foreign markets, European carmakers entered into joint ventures that required them to trade away their technological know-how to competitors. That trade-off handed competitors the exact technological weapons they are now using to dismantle Europe's historic industrial advantage. This erosion is spreading across the continent. In France, the manufacturing base has been quietly hollowed out for decades. Look at Renault's production data. In 2004, the company produced 3.5 million vehicles inside France. By 2023, French production had plunged to 661,000 units, a loss of over 80% of its domestic volume. European leaders tried to fight back by creating Stellantis. Led by Carlos Tavares, it was designed to be a massive cross-border champion, but the defense was paralyzed by internal politics. National governments prioritized local job protection over a unified strategy, causing the new company to stall while its competitors accelerated. This line graph shows the resulting market panic. Leading up to February 2026, Stellantis share prices collapsed by 78%. The attempt at a unified defense failed because national protectionism fractured the company's ability to act against a global threat. Zooming out from corporate failures, we can see the macroeconomic stakes for the entire continent. This visualization represents the 1,000 billion euros the automotive sector contributes to the European economy. That trillion-euro bedrock supports 13 million jobs. Losing this sector would destabilize the entire European labor market. The danger compounds because Europe uses this wealth to fund its other critical goals, like rearming for security and upgrading its energy grids. We see the end of that wealth in the Zwickau parking lot. Klaus is leaving a facility that is beginning to power down for good. Europe must now choose between a unified industrial plan or a continued irreversible loss of global economic weight.